Hello, friends, and a very warm welcome to this latest episode of World Cricket Chat, where we preview and analyze a few select matches from around the world, cricket matches, if I may add. Today, we're going to have a look at the Big Bash League encounter between the Melbourne Renegades and Hobart Hurricanes that will be played at the Dockland Stadium on Thursday. Shruti Chopra is with me at the other end, and she has her tarot predictions ready as well. Hi, Shruti. How are you holding up after that grand birthday party you had last Saturday in Mumbai?
Yes, I'm holding up very well. It's been a few days, so I guess I have recovered quite nicely. Thank you.
We'll move directly into the previewing of this game, Shruti. Despite the presence of a strong lineup, it has been a bit of a surprise to see the Melbourne Renegades slump to 3 defeats from 5 games. One reason why I call their squad a strong one is because of their bowling that has two attacking spinners, two attacking spinning options in their lineup, Brad Hogg and Sunil Narayan. But it's been a case of their batting and bowling not having dished out solid performances in the same game. Both teams, the Renegades and the Hurricanes, have lost their last two matches going into this one, in fact. But let's begin with the Renegades first. How are you looking at them, Shruti?
Yes, in fact, because both teams have lost their last two games, they're both in a tough position. And somewhere there's, at least with the Renegades, their strategies reflect a sense of confusion. They're not entirely sure on how to create the right balance on paper, but when they're out on the field, the whole story changes.
What do you mean by changes?
I'm not saying their batting and bowling will be like top notch, but they do give themselves a fair chance. Let me be a little bit more detailed. Initially, the batsmen will try developing a strong partnership, but I just don't find them aggressive enough. And this could add additional pressure on the latter end of their batting. As for their bowling, just what you were saying, that it's pretty strong, but it doesn't start off too well. But slowly, it does gain control and put the Renegades in a stronger position to win this one.
Interesting what you say about the Renegades bowling, because I suspect that has been the cause of their downfall in the previous two matches. Against the Stars, they conceded 200 runs with Trent Lawford's economy of 8 and over being the best for them, and the rest of them all went for 9, 10, and 11 runs and over. Then in the previous game against the Sydney Sixers at the Sydney Cricket Ground, they might have been hindered by the falling rain, but still allowed the Sixers to chase down the score of 171 with much ease. So that's something they might want to have a closer look at. But moving on to the Hobart Hurricanes, they had made a good start to the competition, but are now in a worse position than the Renegades. With just 2 wins from 6 games, they're left with no option but to win their remaining two matches, the last two matches in the competition. If they don't win, and if they win that, they will still need some other results to go their way for a chance to qualify for the Final Four knockout stage. What makes it worse for them is that they are coming off a pummeling defeat at the hands of bottom scrapers Sydney Thunder. Let's ask Shruti, what does she make of the Hurricanes? Shruti?
Well, I know you said Hobart Hurricanes are not in the best position, and that's exactly what the points table tell us too. But today, what I like about the Hobart Hurricanes is their positivity in this match. Most of this will be exuded by their captain, Tim Paine. All this great energy should come through in how he and his team execute their plans.
We saw what happened with Tim Paine. He had a couple of good games to begin with, but seems to have fallen a little, tapered off a little as far as form is concerned. But he will need to be the center of that resurrection for sure, Shruti, because he's been one of the better batsmen in the competition. But the trouble, I think, has been the Hurricanes' bowling, more specifically of their backup bowling to keep the runs down. When I say backup bowling, I think Dan Christian was supposed to be one of those options, but Dan Christian has led the attack rather well. He has surprisingly emerged as their best bowler in the tournament. Stuart Broad has conceded almost 8 and over, and Cameron Boyce, Sean Tate, and Hamish Kingston have all gone for much more than that, which has been at the center of their problem. Do your cards see any concerns on your end for the Hurricanes?
Well, concerns seem to almost always come up. The batsmen start really well and build good, strong momentum, but then I don't see them finishing as strong as they could. It's their bowling that seems to step up, and maybe the cause of some confusion amongst the Renegades batsmen. Suneer, my one final concern, actually it's for both teams. it's poor fielding. They'll really be keeping their supporters on the edge, and it's just so disappointing to see just basic fielding going wrong.
It's very disappointing when you talk about fielding, when you talk about a country like Australia, cricketing country like Australia. I've seen so many skiers being dropped, so many uh, catches go down in the outfield. We had spoken about this in the last game, and I had said that things had begun to look good, but in the last few games, again, we have seen a few skiers being shelled by the fielders. And these issues have come back to haunt the teams. Wonder if it's some sort of a light issue, a floodlights issue, or just a set of cricketers not focusing on that aspect of the game enough anymore. Shruti, quickly, what's your prediction for this game?
Well, yes, my prediction. I'm going to go with Tara Advantage, the Melbourne Renegades. What about you, Suneer?
But it's a surprise that I am going to go with the Renegades as well. But
Oh,
I'll
gosh.
just say this, that only just because I suspect this is going to be an interesting match. This
It
could go
is.
down to the wire, could go down to the last over. Remember, there are two players in this match, Aaron Finch and George Bailey, both of whom are sidelined by the Australian selectors from the ODI side that will take on Pakistan in a 5-match series starting on Friday. And I sense that at least one of them will get themselves a big one here. So that's the other prediction I'm making, Shruti.
Oh, nice. That's good. We'll watch out for those two innings then. Well, that's it from us. Right, Suneer? We'll be back on with the first ODI between India and England then?
We will be.
Great. So until then, please, as always, do subscribe by clicking on the red button and do follow us on Twitter at World Crick Chat. Bye-bye.